Hi, my beautiful friends. How are y'all today? I hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. I want to say welcome to my channel, Tropical Empress in Spirit. My name is Amanda. Hello, beautiful people. Today I wanted to share a couple of stories of some of the things that have happened. And I said that, I had a lot more stories concerning like precognition. And I had something just happen to me recently that I thought I would share that kind of falls into precognition, but it can even go like be claircognizance too. So it kind of like crosses into each other, at least for me. That's how I see it as. So, and on another story that had happened this past year. So recently, as y'all know, I bought a new house and had it built. And when I had signed, the papers and closed on the house, I received 4 keys to the house. And I was told that those are the only keys that exist to my home, all right? Well, 2 weeks ago, I had to go back to my other house because I'm still going through physical therapy. And when I, left, I locked the front door and got in my car and took off. And I ended up spending the night up there. And when I came back the next day, I went and put the key in my door, and without even touching the deadbolt was unlocked. And I know, and I would have sworn that I locked both the deadbolts and the doorknob. So I'm like, well, maybe I didn't, but my gut says I did. So anyway, so I just, blew it off. Okay, well, hopefully it won't happen again. Well, this past Thursday, I had to go back up to my other house to have physical therapy done again. I had no plans on spending the night up there because I knew I had to be back by the next morning for the landscaping guy to come and cut my yard and so forth because it was growing so tall and I'm still waiting for my lawnmower to get here from China. So before I left, something told me something's off. I couldn't tell you what it was, but something was off in the energy. I could feel it. And something was just telling me to not leave my jewelry box here. So I grabbed my jewelry box and walked out the door. I intentionally made sure I locked the deadbolt first without locking the doorknob to make sure the deadbolt was locked. And I did that, and then I locked the doorknob. And I got in my car and left and went, to my old house and did physical therapy and everything. And when I come back that night, the deadbolt was unlocked. It's like, what? Okay, that's twice now. Okay, first time you could brush off, twice, no. And it's like, and that just confirmed what I felt earlier that morning when I left my home. That something was off. So that means, yeah, it's scary that someone's been in my house. So who the hell is it? I have my theories. It's down to, a few people. But can I prove it? No. But that's not why I'm making this video. I'm just, telling y'all this story because that feeling I had, that something was off, and to grab my jewelry box instead of leaving it here, that was my psychic abilities coming in and warning me and telling me what I needed to do. And that's kind of like how precognition works. It's like something that's going to happen before it actually happens. And so that's one story. And then December of last year, right before Christmas, my husband had to go stay at his daughter's house to watch her house and take care of her pets while they went on vacation to Disney World. And I decided to stay at the old house because I was still trying to get things ready for the upcoming Christmas holiday. And I still had gifts I had to wrap, and also, a few gifts I had to buy. And this is like, 3 or 4 days for Christmas. So yeah, some of it I was waiting until the last minute, and I normally don't do that. But anyways, so I was tired. I was worn out because I've been looking at a computer screen all day, trying to figure out what gift to get someone, and, couldn't make up my mind exactly which way to go. So I decided to go lay down, but before I did, I had a feeling that something was wrong, like something's gonna happen. Couldn't tell you what it was, but I just had that feeling. And so I called my husband to ask him if he was okay. Because normally that's what I'll do with, my close circle with a few people, to check on them, to make sure it's not them. And he swore to me that everything was fine. Well, I felt like he was lying to me, like he was keeping something from me, but I didn't push it. Like I said, I was tired. So I just needed to, like, take a nap, rest my eyes, and then, wake back up, get back to the rest of the shopping, and get, the house organized, and so on. So as soon as I laid down, even before I got to the bed, I saw a bright white spirit orb appear, about the size of, a little bit bigger than a golf ball. And I looked at the spirit and I said, "Hey, beautiful spirit," I said, "Well, I'm sorry." I said, "I can't talk to you right now. I'm a little busy, It just blew the spirit off. And so I went to lay down, and when I closed my eyes, I had an image of a woman come to mind, like right away. It startled me right away to where I sat up in my bed. And the woman was, I don't know, she probably looked in her mid-40s, maybe mid-late 40s. She had brown hair that was about right below her shoulders. Slender woman. She looked tall, like maybe 5'9", 5'10", something like that. At least taller than me. And so, I'm like, okay, well, you must be the spirit orb I saw. And so, I said, okay, you got my attention. What is it you need to tell me or show me, And I had this bad feeling that, something was wrong, something was coming, but I couldn't shake it off. I couldn't tell you, why it was there, but I knew something was wrong, something was off. And so when, I saw the spirit come into my third eye, into my psychic eye, I just told her, I said, "Look," I said, what is it that I can do for you here? Is there, I have this bad feeling already, something's wrong, that something's going to happen to someone close to me. I said, "And please, God, don't let anyone in my family or my friends die, please. Don't do that," and so, and I told her, I said, "Listen, I have this bad feeling something's wrong, and I'm kind of assuming this is why you're here." I said, "So can you, like, flash a light or something, or tell me that I'm right, that there's something wrong, my feelings are right, they are justified." And so I saw the lamp on my nightstand flash, and I said, "Okay, does this mean that I'm correct, that something's gonna happen, something's wrong?" And I said, "If it is," I said, "can you flash that light for me again? Flash that lamp." The lamp flashed again. I said, "Okay." I said, "There's only a few people I could feel that it would be." I said, "But the first person that comes to my mind is my husband. And he has health problems." So that was my first thought. I said, "So does it pertain to my husband? Can you flash a light, my lamp, to tell me I'm right, or don't flash it, that I'm wrong?" And the light flashed again. I said, "Okay, great, what am I supposed to do right now?" And I thought about driving to my stepdaughter's house, which is 2 hours away. It's actually, about 2 hours away. But I knew I was tired, and I still had things I had to do. That's why I stayed at the house instead of going with my husband. So I'm like, okay, well, all I can do is call my husband again and kind of tell him what happened. So I did. I called him. I said, "So, that bad feeling I've had that tells me something's wrong, something bad's gonna happen, something's coming?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "So, are you sure everything's okay with you?" I said, because I'm being told it's not. He's like, yeah, everything's fine. You know, my health, I checked my blood sugar this morning. It was fine. And my blood pressure's okay. And, you know, so on. He's like, in fact, I'm in the car right now. I'm doing my Christmas shopping. And I was in the middle of buying your Christmas gift. And so on and so on. I'm like, okay. I said, that's great that your numbers and all that are good. I said, but I'm being told something's wrong. And it pertains to you. But I'm not getting anything else, you know. He's like, well, baby, I don't know what to tell you, you know, but I'm fine. It's like, okay. So I get off phone, I'm just like, okay, you need to show me something else. You need to tell me something else because I don't know what this means, you know. So, and all I could do is wait to see if the spirit would come back and answer me or give me anything else, if I get a vision or anything. But unfortunately, I never got any of those things. And I'm just like, great, what do I do? You know, so, well, the day that my stepdaughter and her family were returning home, that morning, my husband, you know, said he was going to take off once he heard from her and knew that they were about at the halfway point to returning home. And that he would then take off. So, I said, okay. And after he called me and told me he was on his way, I mean, I paced that ground back and forth until I saw him come into that driveway because I just had this fear that he could have a heart attack or something, especially when I'm being told it pertains something having to do with him some way, somehow. And so I'm pacing that floor, you know, burning a hole in the ground, going back and forth, waiting for him to get home. And it was, you know, pretty much right about dark is when he pulled in. And, you know, and I felt relieved that I could finally at least see him and, you know, physically see him and touch him and know that at least at this moment he's okay. So I help him unload the car and, you know, take things inside. And he sits down. And within an hour after he got home, his phone rings. It's my stepdaughter. She just got home with her husband and kids. And there was glass all over their basement floor where they have a door in the back of their house that goes into the basement. Someone tried breaking in their house. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So they talked for a minute, and I told her I was sorry, you know, to hear what happened. But I'm thankful they were okay, and I'm thankful they weren't there when the attempted break-in happened. Even though whoever it wasn't able to get in the house, it was still just a point, you know, the fact that someone did try and broke the glass in their door, and, you know, this and that. So, and I was thankful, you know, they weren't there because I got 3 small children, and so I just kind of looked at my husband and it's like, okay. And then as soon as we got off phone, that feeling was gone. So I knew then that was the warning. That yes, it did pertain to my husband, but not exactly. Yes and no. And so I told my husband, I said, that's what I was being warned about. That this was going to happen. I said, because as soon as you got off phone, that feeling was gone. So that tells me that's what I was trying to be warned about. And then my husband sits there and tells me, he was like, well, I think I know who it could have been. I said, well, who? He's like, well, I saw the neighbor out there in the backyard, you know, working on like a vehicle or something. And he said he even got a bad feeling from this guy that told him he needed to go back into his car and pull out his pistol and take it inside and have it close to him. I said, there it is. I said, and you told me everything was fine when I called you and asked you if everything was okay. And you sat there and told me it was, but I knew better. I said, if you had told me that, that would have gave me more of the information, confirmation, maybe, just maybe. I might have picked up something else because I wasn't getting anything else. And I couldn't confirm anything either to tell me, to give me an idea of why I was getting that feeling of what I was being warned about and so forth, you know. So I just, you know, I told my husband, I said, you know, that just, you know, makes me mad, but whatever. You know, everybody's okay, and that's all that matters now. But the point is, even then, I got a feeling that something was wrong. My psychic abilities were coming in loud and clear to disrupt me from trying to sleep and giving me that vibe, that vibration through my body and my soul telling me something's wrong. Something bad's gonna happen. And even though I trusted and I listened to it, I didn't know exactly what, but I knew it was something. And so, my beautiful people, what I want to tell y'all is, I want y'all to know is, listen to those feelings. Don't ignore them. Even if you have a feeling or a situation like what I just described, that doesn't mean that, everything's, okay. That feeling's there for a reason. And you may not know the exact reason behind it, what's coming, but you just know something's off, something's wrong. Can't pinpoint why, what it could be, who, where, all those things. But you still know. So it kind of, crosses into both like claircognizance, which is intuition, and precognition. It's kind of a little bit of both. And so I know, I'm sure many of y'all have had feelings like that, just like what I described. And, you probably go through and say to yourself, well, I don't know what it is, or, nah, nothing, nothing bad's gonna happen. You doubt yourself, and you're like, no, could that be real? Could something like this be going on? I'm getting this warning. I want you to know that, yes, it's real. And those feelings, listen to them. Because you just never know what that reason behind it is. But someone in heaven is trying to warn you and tell you to be careful, or to not go somewhere, or like with me, make sure I, verified I locked my doors and took my jewelry box. And then now with, my husband, my stepdaughter, and her family, their house gets broken into just an hour or two before they get home. And I believe, that the person who broke into the house was keeping an eye on the house and saw that my husband left. I do believe, though, that they were looking at breaking in the house earlier, but they wanted to be sure my husband was gone. And so they waited until they heard my husband's car start. Because he has a sports car like mine, but it has a loud exhaust system, so when it starts, it's loud. Especially when you're inside a building like a garage, and he had parked the car in a garage. So I believe that it was supposed to include my husband, like he was supposed to be there when it happened. But I think my husband decided to leave a little bit earlier than what he had intended. And I think that at least these idiots who thought that it's okay just go in and break into someone's house, at least had some kind of smarts to not do it while they felt someone was still there. So, but it goes through and invalidates those feelings. And as I said, don't ignore it. Okay, you may not know the exact cause of it. And like I said before, it might even feel like it's so far-fetched, like, no, that can't happen, or no, it can't be that person because I just talked to them an hour ago. No, beautiful people. Trust what you're picking up. There is a legitimate reason. And then if you ever find yourself in doubt, like, if you think like, okay, well, that's just, a one-off. It's only going to happen once and it ain't going to happen again. You want nothing to worry about. Well, that's possible too. And I'm not going to say it's not. But what I would also suggest to y'all is, if you're having doubts, when you get those kinds of feelings that's warning you, that someone's sick, or something like my experience with my homes, and my stepdaughter's house, or even a warning that a loved one's going to die soon. Or it could even be something good, because I've had those too, and I said I will share them in the future, and I still will. I plan on it, but I want to share this with y'all today. What I want y'all to do is keep a journal. Date it, time it, and write down every single thing you're picking up. Describe your feelings in detail. And then if you think you're getting any messages from your loved ones or your spirit guides or guardian angels telling you what's going to happen, write that down too. And then when it does come to fruition, you got confirmation then that your feelings were right and they've been validated. And then do it again. If it comes and it happens again, write it down too. Write it down enough, you have enough of those experiences to where you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you're picking up on something and you connect to those feelings and you know what those feelings are like. So when it happens again, you can't just sit there and blow it off and say, nah, it's not going to happen, or that's crazy or whatever. Don't do that. You might just end up, regretting it if you do. Because, maybe, someone's sick in the hospital that you don't know and they haven't called you. Or maybe someone you love is going to pass away soon. I've had that happen too. Or just maybe, like what I described, you get that warning someone's going to break into your house. Or someone's going to be in your house that shouldn't be there. It can be any number of things. But you got to take the time and focus and write it down and be in tune with those feelings so you recognize it, so when it happens again, you're gonna know. And you won't doubt it then. After it happens so many times, you'll stop doubting yourself. And understand me, beautiful people, even me, who's been experiencing this for many, many, many years, even I, as you just heard in my stories, even I doubt myself. And I think that's natural for all of us to do. We question it. We doubt it. We're like, no, that's not going to happen. No, that's not real. Don't. Because even when I doubt myself, I still go check anyways. I'll call a couple of people, who I think it could be, to check on them and make sure they're okay. Those types of things. But even though I will just have that doubt, just being human and having a rational, logical mind too, I still know at the end of the day not to ignore it. I still know I have to listen to it. Because if not, I will regret it after the fact if I don't. If it ends up being a circumstance like someone's going to die soon or someone's in the hospital, it's really sick or whatever, just listen to it. Don't just, blow it off and, think you're going crazy, or maybe you, think you didn't have enough sleep, so you're losing it, as some of us would say. Don't do that to yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's better to be safe than sorry. Because if it were to become reality, like I said, you're going to be kicking yourself in the butt after the fact. And I've gone through that too. So beautiful people, I hope that what I've shared with y'all today helps and gives you some kind of idea, even some clarity on what it's like to experience, precognition or claircognizance, or a combination of them both going, working together with each other, whichever way you want to categorize it as. I hope that my stories and other stories concerning my other psychic abilities helps you in some way to not doubt yourself, to believe in yourself, to pay attention, to listen, or even just to even have an open mind of, well, could I be psychic? How about I explore that possibility? I'm encouraging you to explore it, because it's more than likely it's there. It just may take a little bit of time and patience, and stay into a ritual practice of, meditation and other things you can do to help open that door. But once that door is open, I seriously doubt you'll ever look back. Because even for me, even though there's some crazy things that happen that I don't much care for, it's still, on the positive side, it can still be a very beautiful experience too. And, you know, unfortunately, there's going to be the bad that goes with the good. I think that's true about anything. And it's even true about psychic abilities. But even when those, you know, not so good, happy moments happen, like what I described in this video with y'all and told my story just a minute ago, I'm still thankful for those warnings, because at least it gives me a heads up, and lets me know to kind of pay attention and don't, you know, just walk away and it's like, nah, you know, that's not gonna happen, or I'll deal with it later. No, you gotta handle it and face it head on when it happens, and just trust your feelings. Trust what you're picking up. That's what I want y'all to know, beautiful people. So I hope this has helped y'all in some way. Y'all have learned something or taken away something to help, you know, give you that clarity or validate or confirm something that you were curious and wondering about. So I'm going to end it here today, beautiful people. If you like my content, if you love, you know, like my energy, if it resonates with you, please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. And please do like and share my content so that it can reach other people who need to hear this message right now. And please feel free to leave me a comment. I love reading y'all's comments. I really do. And I will respond to them as soon as possible when I have time. But until then, my beautiful people, I'm wishing y'all so much happiness, so much love, so many blessings, all the great, beautiful things in this life we all want and are deserving of. And that includes you, beautiful. Until next time.